Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night 35 of the overnight feed recaps for season 25 of Big Brother. A good Wednesday morning to y'all. We had another interesting evening in the house. We started off. Happy birthday to Red. The house guests got up. A bunch of them got up. Sari, Felicia, a few of the others. 6 o'clock or so in the morning to start decorating the house. So they got it all decorated. They woke Red up, celebrated with a breakfast in bed for him. He was very excited about that. So, again, a happy birthday to Red from yesterday. Other than that, nothing new happened. The plan remains to vote out Jag. No. Do y'all really think that would be the case? No, it's been 24 hours since they decided to vote out Jag. So of course they're going to flip and change, and that's exactly what happened yesterday and last night. So we're going to talk about that. Flip flop the whole way through. The plan from Sari's side of the house is now to send Red home, and we'll talk about why and when and all of that. So with that being said, let's go on straight to the feeds and talk about how this all turned out. All right, we have, first of all, let's start off the day with Sari, definitely not a Felicia fan anymore. Early yesterday morning, Sari was talking to Corey and saying, look, Felicia's already telling everyone that you need to go home, Corey. And he says, well, how much time do I have? And she says, you might only have a couple of weeks. Felicia is ready to come after you. So she certainly is throwing Felicia under the bus a little bit at this point in time with Corey. And just not happy with Felicia right now. Sari is saying that everyone is tired of Felicia and that she's been trying to get targets on Sari and Izzy. And that's really the big reason that Sari is so fed up with Felicia, is that right there. So now they're talking about the potential of maybe getting Felicia out as early as next week. Is Felicia taking Cameron's place as house target number one? I don't think they're there yet. I think there's a little bit of venting and steaming at this point from Sari, but certainly this division between her and Felicia is growing bigger and bigger by the minute. All right, with that being said, the flipping begins at this point, commences. We've got Jared and Izzy talking. They're now worried that Red staying could lead to him and Cameron starting to work together again. They've been talking about this for the past few days. Admittedly, they were always a little bit worried about going after Jag because of the concern that Red and Cameron could end up together. So now they're vocalizing it even more. But Jared is also now saying that Cameron, maybe he didn't literally say that he wanted Red out and that he was willing to go up his pawn. Maybe that's not quite what he said when he talked to me. I don't know why he didn't say that earlier, but now he's telling Izzy that, which as a result makes her think that it may be more likely that they could mend things and work together if Cameron didn't just outright come out and try to betray Red. So that's got her thinking that a reunification between these two may be a little bit more likely. They're also freaked out because Red is pushing hard to get Felicia out this week, which they think means that he doesn't want Cameron to go home. In reality, it's just Red and Sari are so tight. Red's picking up on some of Sari's comments about Felicia, so he's mimicking what she is saying. That's why he's pushing so hard for talking about Felicia and all of that. That's why that's happening. But basically, their understanding, Izzy and Jared are thinking it's because he just somehow doesn't want Cameron to go home. He's not talking enough badly about Cameron anymore, so the whole thing must be a ruse, and we got to get him out while we can. The funniest little comments or behaviors can lead to all kinds of paranoia and things like this happening. All right, we've got America and Blue are talking to each other. America's saying that she wouldn't put up Sari or Izzy or Jared if she was HOH. Not what I want to hear from America, but I also think it's likely that she's just saying this because she's talking to Jared's showman's partner and thinking that anything that is said will get back to Jared and Sari and Izzy and all that. But she's saying, yeah, I wouldn't put up Jared or Izzy or Sari. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. America, win HOH. Show us what you're going to do. All right, we've got Jared and Izzy and Felicia talking, all agreeing that Jag is still the target for now. They're saying that he's the target. But Jared is mentioning again that if Red flipped to the other side, he's saying if Red flips, it's going to be horrible. If Jag flips, yeah, we'll deal with it, whatever. But Red could pull people together much easier and is a much stronger competitor, and that he's got the connections. All it'd be much worse if Red flipped than if anything Jag could do at this point in time. Izzy is saying that Red and Cameron are the scariest duo on the other side. Forget Jag and America, forget Jag and whoever. That Red and Cameron are the worst nightmare duo for Izzy's side. Well, of course she's going to throw Cameron in that classification, right? But she is worried about that. Jared is saying that Cameron is nothing without Red. If they get Red out the door, Cameron's just on his own at that point in time. If not, then maybe not so much. So again, all sides, they're saying Jag's still a target, but they sure are talking like they're ready to make a change. Jared is also mentioning, here's something pretty funny that can happen. Jared's mentioning that Red had talked to Jared and said, hey, Jared, would you be a mediator? After the vote on Thursday, I'd like to talk to Cameron, and would you be a mediator just so the two of us can have a conversation and actually hash some of this out? Which makes them worry that Red must want to reunify with Cameron, that he's trying to figure out a way that the two of them can get back together. So yet another red flag for them because of this. All right, we've got Felicia saying at this point in time, flip flop. Felicia saying, look, I only agreed to send Jag out the door just because of Sari. And I thought that was the best thing to do. But she said, my gut instinct has always been to break up Red and Cameron. She said, we went in saying Red or Cameron, one or the other has to go. And she says, we changed because Sari was then saying she wanted Jag out. She said, but my gut's always been one of them. We got to get Red out. So she's ready for him to go. And Izzy's now saying that Red needs to go. So here we go again. All right, Jared is going to talk to Jag and says, look, all right, let's get out Red, but I want to talk to Jag. He said, I want to challenge him on some of his lies that he has told, and I want to find out who he would nominate if he stays in the House at this point in time. So he's still not trusting Jag. He just is seeing some dangers from Red also. All right, we've got Felicia saying that they need a for real alliance meeting and to find out what Corey and America and McCole would do. Jag staying, Red staying. What would those three do in one or the other situation? But Jared's saying, look, and which one of Red or Jag would those three want to vote out? But Jared is saying, look, Corey and America want Jag to stay. I know they'll vote for Jag to stay. And he said McCole has expressed fears of Cameron and Red getting back together. So he doesn't say that she would vote against Red, but certainly he's implying that she would vote against Red as well. All right, Izzy is saying that Red of that they need to decide for real needs to decide who's going to go home. Once they've decided, and let me put this another way, she thinks for real minus America and Corey needs to decide who is going home. Once they've decided, then bring America and Corey in as well, have an official for real alliance meeting, and make them feel like they're part of the decision. Even though they've already decided as a group before that ever happens. So that's kind of the plan they're going to do later this evening. We've got Jared telling Bowie that if he had a vote, he'd vote out Jag as well. That he would vote out Jag. That he's just not ready to keep Jag in the house just yet. All right, we've got Jared and McCole talking. Jared is saying he doesn't trust Jag. We kind of picked up on that. He doesn't trust Jag. He says, but on the other hand, he says, I know that Jag won't put us up next week. I know I'm safe if Jag is still in this house and wins HOH. And he says, if he doesn't win HOH, well, then Jag can go right back on the block. We don't have to send him out this week. He's always there for next week as well. So he said, it's not the end of the world. He won't come after us next week. So we should be good no matter what. McCole is fearing that too many people are rallying behind Jag. And she's also thinking that Red getting back with Cameron isn't a smart move, that she doesn't think the two of them would do it. So even though earlier it sounded like they thought McCole would maybe vote to send Jag out the door, or I said they talked about it earlier, and now McCole's kind of following that up, saying, yeah, he's got a lot of people behind him So again, she's suggesting maybe Jag should go as well. All right, we've got Izzy and Corey upstairs in the game area. Corey is telling Izzy. Izzy, I think, was all prepared to tell Corey that they're going to send out Red instead of Jag. And just as she starts trying to have a conversation, Corey says, "Oh yeah, Felicia already told me and America that Red's now the target." Izzy's not happy about that. Izzy wanted to be the one to break the news to Corey, and that didn't happen. So she's upset because of that. She's upset because Izzy spread the news. Anyway, so yeah, she's not happy to hear that she's not the one that told him. But she is saying that, she shouldn't have told you that just yet. But she's right. We are switching now and thinking that we need to get Red out. And she's explaining it's just this fear that Red could be working with the other side if he sticks around. So yeah, she's bringing Corey into the new plan. All right, we've got Sari and Jared talking in the comic room. Sari is saying, look, Matt wants to keep Jag. He'll say anything to save him. And Jared's saying 1,000%, again, what he told Nicole as well. He said 1,000% Jag's not going to put us up if he wins HOH. And Jared's also passing on the information that Red wants to talk to Cameron after the vote, wants to use Jared as this mediator. So he's warning Sari as well that Red is maybe trying to get back with Cameron based on that conversation. And they finished this up somewhat by Jared talking about his new boot order, now who he wants to send home and win. And his new boot order is Red and Cameron and Jag and Matt and Felicia, and then finally America. So yeah, Red has suddenly now become the target again. And then they'll send Cameron home next week, which has always been the plan. And then after that, Jag can head out the door. All right, so Jared is saying that he actually woke up yesterday morning and feeling fine about Jag. As much as he's thrown him under the bus, as much as he doesn't trust him, he's telling Sari that, yeah, I'm okay with Jag. And I think it's just because he's realizing Jag probably would not go after him. All right, we've got Matt and Corey talking. Corey is saying that he's always been skeptical of this whole Red Cameron dispute fight, how real it is. I think it's real. I truly think it's real. I think Red just wishes it used to be the way it was and would like to try to make that. Not for gameplay, not for strategy, but just because they were the Chillbillies, and I think he's missing that. But Corey's saying, yeah, I've always wondered about that thing to begin with. And Corey's saying if Jag wins, if Jag stays and wins HOH, he'll put up Cameron. No one should be upset with a Jag HOH if that's the case. He says if Red stays and wins HOH, there's no telling who he puts up. And we've already heard Red talking about the fact that if he was to head out the door, he's going to call out Felicia and Cameron on the way out. So he definitely has a little bit of grudge here and there. And it would be interesting to see what Red would do. But Corey is not necessarily wanting to take that chance. All right, we've got Sari and Matt talking. Sari's telling Matt that Felicia is doing way too much right now, trying to run too much in the house. Matt is telling her that Jag had told him that Felicia had told Jag that everyone had been saying Jag's name as a target, except for Felicia. She's the one person that didn't want Jag out the door, but everyone else was mentioning his name. Sari is very shocked to hear this. Not happy at all. That Felicia is trying to keep any blood off her hands as far as the whole Jag situation goes. All right. Well, I mentioned Red's birthday was yesterday. They woke him up with breakfast in bed. They had a big steak dinner. Hey, it was Taco Tuesday. Why didn't you have tacos? But yeah, a different season, I suppose. They had a big steak dinner for everyone in honor of Red's birthday. Corey talked about eating way too much, and also they all had fun with the birthday. Afterwards, they had everyone performing skits where basically impersonating Red, everyone trying to impersonate him, and some of them more funny than others. We only got to see a few of them. The feeds were breaking away a lot during a lot of this stuff going on. All right, we've got Jared and Sari talking, getting more and more suspicious of Felicia, but they are also talking about this Thursday night eviction, and they basically have both now at this point said, all right, Red needs to go. We've him-hawed around all day long about it. Red needs to go. And so at this point, Matt comes in, joins the conversation also. And I think I'm trying to remember if he knows that Red's going to go as well. I don't think so. I think they stopped talking about that when he came in. All right. This was up in the HOH room. Eventually, Corey shows up. Matt hides in the shower so that they don't know that they've been talking to Matt. So Corey doesn't know that they've been talking. Now, Corey's part of the for real, and I think they're worried he may say something. So Suri kind of whispers to him that Matt's in the shower and make sure that he didn't say anything that Matt doesn't need to hear. Eventually, Corey leaves. I remember what his excuse was. He's looking for Izzy or something. He made some excuse to leave so that then Matt could sneak out without being seen by Corey. Eventually, Corey comes back. The other members of the For Real Alliance, all except for America, and keep that in mind because that's important. All the For Real eventually ends up in the HOH room for their meeting that they talked about earlier in the day wanting to have. Well, now the meeting's taking place, and they're coming up with some interesting ideas. They've more or less settled that Red needs to go home instead of Jag. But now Suri is suggesting that her and Bowie Jane and Cameron and Matt all vote against Jag. So it's a 6-4 vote to send Red home. And then they blame the other side for the votes against Jag. A lot of trying to create all kinds of confusion and throwing other people under the bus and all that. And it actually was a little difficult to follow exactly what they're talking about doing, but they want to go 6-4 and blame the votes on the other side instead. You know, if it works, great, but sometimes you end up getting a little too tricky and you end up burning yourself. They've got to be careful about that. But right now, the vote is a plan for 6-4 and blame the votes on the other side. All right, later we've got Matt and Suri in the have not room talking. Suri is first of all warning Matt, saying, do not say anything to Felicia. We can't trust her anymore whatsoever. Just don't say anything to her. And Suri is asking Matt, saying if Matt's so Matt did know when he came in earlier about the plan to go after Red instead, because Suri is saying, Matt, are you going to tell Jag about these split votes and all the stuff we're planning to send save Jag, but send Red out the door and but make these 4 votes so it looks suspicious? Are you going to pass that on to Jag? And he says, no, if I do that, Jag would freak out thinking that it's going to be a close vote 6-4. He doesn't want to hear that. There's no way I'm going to say anything to Jag about that whatsoever. Suri is now saying, look, here's another plan. If we don't do that, but if we both vote against Jag, so it's an 8-2 vote, she said, Red will still have plenty of votes to go home. No worries about that. She says, but now we'll blame those rogue votes on Corey and America. We'll try to convince Jag that Corey and America wanted to send him home so that those two aren't trying to work too closely to Jag. So this is kind of the new plan coming on Thursday, 6-4, 8-2. We don't know what's going to happen just yet, but Suri is suggesting to Matt that just the two of them could vote against Jag and then blame it on America and Corey. Sneaky people playing the game of Big Brother. All right, Suri deciding that she doesn't want to work with Felicia anymore. Well, imagine that after today's conversations. She's saying, I don't want to work with Felicia anymore. She's heard and Matt's confirmed that Cameron and Felicia have both been throwing Suri under the bus, so she's just tired of it. So, yeah, I don't need to work with her any more than that. All right, we've got America and Jag in the bathroom. America, she starts off by saying, I got news for you. And, whoa, what's that? And she said, well, I don't know if I should even tell you because you're not going to believe me. Remember, Jag has had major trust issues with America. He doesn't believe that she wanted to save him last week. He doesn't believe that she wanted to tell him the votes were going to go against him. She just doesn't have his trust. So she's saying, I want to tell you, but you probably aren't going to believe me anyway. But Jag, you got the votes. You're going to stay. I've heard it. You're going to stay. Jag is very happy as well. They're both happy with that news. But America is saying, but Jag, you cannot tell anyone. Please, promise you aren't going to tell anyone. Don't screw it up. If you tell anyone and they find out, they're not going to do it. If you start talking, you may go home. You can't tell anyone. We'll see. I don't know. Can Jag keep his mouth shut on something like this? I don't know if he can, but America has spilled the beans. Now, if Jag does say something and it gets back that America's the one that told him about it, that may really hurt her game as well. So yeah, she needs to be careful, as does Jag right now. But she has told him that he is going to be safe, that they're now plotting against Red instead of him. And from there, we get in a little bit of a complaint session. America's complaining about Corey, saying that, yeah, you know what? Corey tells me things, but he never includes me as part of the decision making process, the alliances, anything else. She's saying America's saying that she's annoyed with Corey. She says right now he's out there scheming, and he doesn't include me on any of it. He just tells me what he thinks I need to know, and that's it. She is upset. America had complained to Corey earlier about not being included in alliance and strategy meetings, and Corey just kind of blew her off and kept on doing the same thing. The tipping point, I think, for this whole deal is that she later discovered when For Real was meeting in the HOH room talking about the votes and all of that, everyone was in there except for America. Where was she? She was upstairs outside the HOH room, upstairs in that game room, and they just didn't bother bringing her inside to talk to her. She is hot about that. She's not happy that Corey isn't trying to include her as much as she thinks she should be included, and she has a point. I mean, Corey is pretty much just taking for granted that he'll make the decisions and tell her, and she'll move along, and he'll kind of control the game for both of them. So, yeah, she is not happy, and she is letting Jag know about that. She'll let Corey know about it as well. She's already complained to him, and it didn't work. So now step two, and that led to an interesting evening. All right, we've got Corey and Cameron talking to each other. Again, Corey's out there scheming while America's not happy with it. Corey's talking to Cameron. They're talking about who won the invincibility power. Corey thinks that it was Matt, which is true. That's who won it. But Cameron's saying, yeah, I really think it was Jag, that Matt wouldn't have used it on Jag like that. That I think it was Jag. Now, it actually was Matt. They're talking about Bowie and Bowie Jane, and Corey is saying, look, I talked to her. I had a great talk with her earlier. She's saying she doesn't feel like anyone really shares information with her. That's telling me that Corey is kind of poking and prodding and implying that maybe they can make sure they get Bowie Jane as part of another side alliance as well, that maybe they could do something bringing in Bowie Jane as well. Corey kind of confirms this a little bit more, or verifies that he's looking at some other options, because he says, look, my time in the middle is over. That worked for a while, but at this point in time, it's over. He's talking about America. He's saying, yeah, America thinks that she's found a home. I think that's the For Real Alliance. He says she thinks she's found a home, but she hasn't. Again, he's kind of speaking for her, and she won't be happy to hear that either. He also says, here's the one thing, Cameron. If I win HOH, I'm not flipping like we've had here. No way. The decision will be made. That'll be it. We're not having any more of this BS here if I win an HOH. All right, eventually Izzy comes out. They talk for just a second. Corey goes inside. So now it's just Izzy and Cameron outside. Talking about the odd couple. Cameron is saying that he's just given Red space. Izzy had said if you talk to Cameron at all, she wants to find out possibilities of them getting back together. And Cameron's saying, yeah, you know what? I'm just giving them his space right now. He says, I wish we could be cool again like we were, which, again, is not going to make Izzy feel great to even hear that. Cameron, from that point, is talking about that he believes in the Legends 25. He believes in the loyalty, that those are his people, those are his troops and all that. It's just a fake alliance. The only reason it's even there is to try to keep Cameron and Red calm. He doesn't know that. Red's declared loyalty to Legends 25. So is Cameron. No one else is taking it seriously. Cameron believes that the plan is still to send Jag home. But he tells Izzy that Jared did say that Red was the target at one point in time. So again, he's spilling the beans that Jared maybe had mentioned Red, but he's not necessarily saying that he knows that the target right now is to send Red out. And I don't think Cameron knows at this point in time. All right, we have some non-game talk. Izzy's just trying to be friendly with Cameron. She's saying, what do you want to do when you get out of here? And he says he wants to do entertainment after Big Brother. Write, music, act. He said he expects when he gets out, the phone will be ringing off the wall with different opportunities and all that. Maybe not, Cameron. All right. Meanwhile, inside, we've got Felicia and America in bed talking. I think America's just a little fed up with Corey. So now she's doing a little bit more of her own talking and strategizing and stuff. So she's talking to Felicia. Felicia is saying, look, next week, we've got to backdoor Cameron, which has always been the plan. But she's just reemphasizing Cameron has to go next week, and we might as well just do a backdoor. America is thinking that, yeah, Cameron's dangerous. She's thinking that if Cameron was to win HOH next week, he'd probably put up her and Izzy. I'm not so sure. Cameron has said, I think to Jared, said, look, America, or maybe Corey, he has said that America is pretty far down on his list. He's got a lot of targets. He's not happy with America, but he's got a lot of people he'd send out before America. But America's not buying it. She thinks that she's number one target for Cameron, right there next to Izzy. Probably Izzy number one, America number two. So she's telling Felicia that. Felicia is mentioning or telling America that neither Jag nor Bowie knows that Red is going home this week. Well, America just got through telling Jag, so maybe Jag knows, but Felicia isn't aware of that. Felicia is saying that she wants an HOH win in the next couple of weeks, and then she wants to win the final 3 HOH as well. Well, don't we all when we play the game of Big Brother? That's easier said than done, but hey, make your wishes and dream about it, Felicia. Final 3 HOH is not an easy one to win. I don't know if that's going to be something she has to worry about with the way things are going right now. But she's saying, yeah, I'm just going to win an HOH over the next couple of weeks. Then I'll win the final 3 HOH and all is good in the world. They start at that point in time actually going over dates, practicing for any kind of memory competition they may have. And America's actually helping Felicia quite a bit, practicing as they go over all of that. All right, now let's talk about Felicia and the light scenario. It's kind of a funny little situation last night. 11 o'clock, so an hour past Felicia's bedtime, and she is not having it. She is not happy that the lights aren't out in her room, which is that outside bedroom. She's not happy that those lights are still on. She's complaining that everyone is in bed. Well, not everyone. We got people in the kitchen everywhere, but she's saying everyone's in bed, and if the lights aren't off in the next minute, that she's going to be going into the diary room and talking to some people. Well, here's the thing. Don't threaten or antagonize Big Brother production because they can make your life miserable. During my season, a few of the women in the house griped about getting called in to the diary room and tried to take their time with their makeup and stuff to punish the diary room. What did the diary room do? They started waiting until they'd taken all their makeup off. And as soon as it was all off, that's when they would call them to the diary room. So, yeah, you don't want to make the diary room mad. Felicia is making all these threats against them if they don't turn off the lights. If I'm production, I'm turning the lights on every time she's just about ready to go to bed if she keeps it up. But she's saying, you better get these lights off in the next minute or I'm going to be in a diary room. We're going to have a discussion. Corey at one point gets up. It turns out to get a sleep mask, but as soon as he gets up, Felicia starts saying, don't get out of bed. Do not get out of bed, Corey. So she's definitely paying attention and doing everything possible. Now she's upset a little bit later because she realizes that the comic room is dark. Their lights are off, but not hers. And she's saying they only have 3 people in their bed and we've got 4 and the lights are still on. Come on, Big Brother. What are you doing to us? She's again yelling at Big Brother saying, you got to do this. You got to do this. Eventually, Big Brother's had enough. Over the loudspeakers, we hear no talking. I actually hadn't heard that particular little command before, but they're shutting her down a little bit. A couple of minutes later, finally the lights go out. So Felicia is happy for the evening. I'm telling you, if I'm in that room and I'm getting that much pressure to go to bed at a certain time and not get out of bed and all that, that's all the more motivation for me to be booting Felicia out of the house. You don't want to be the person that gets other people irritated with you. But the lights are finally out. At one point now, we finally have Jag and Matt are the only ones still up. They're outside. They're playing pool. And then they're into the kitchen to make food. Then they're back outside eating food. The feeds are cutting away a little bit, but it doesn't really sound like there was any game talk whatsoever. Just talking about swimming and Jag did the hurdles, things like that. So just non-game talk and really not anything worth discussing, because we had another discussion point, and you can see a little bit of this up here. Remember that America was not real happy with Corey for excluding her, leaving her out. She talked to him about it. That didn't really seem to work. He kind of ignored that. So now she's ignoring him. We get to watch for the next hour, and most of that time, every once in a while, they'd flash over to Matt and Jag, but for most of that time, all 4 feeds on a darkened bedroom, all 4 feeds. They're in separate beds tonight, unlike the last 2 nights. Separate beds. Neither one's asleep, but neither one communicating with each other, at least not verbally communicating. We get lots of shots of Corey wide awake, looking over at America, who's facing the other direction. But then you see a shot that America may be facing the other way, but her eyes are wide open. Neither one of them is sleeping. America's mad at Corey. Corey, maybe he knows why she's mad. Maybe he doesn't have a clue, except that he knows he's getting the cold shoulder. But yeah, so we watch that for a solid hour, and really, it's been a while since I've watched Sleeping House Guests for that long without shutting it down. Kept waiting to see if one or the other would whisper, would they have some big romantic comedy kind of thing, rom-com, where they suddenly both turn and they're facing each other at the same time, and you hear the music playing, and they get up and they make up and all that. No, not in the game of Big Brother. None of that ever happened. They were probably up for an hour or so, eyes wide open, avoiding each other. Eventually they fell asleep. I think America fell asleep before Corey, but eventually they both fell asleep. So we'll see what happens today. We'll see if they resolve everything, or if this carries over into the next day. Corey may not even know what he's getting himself into this morning, so we'll find out. And with that, shut down, what's that, midnight 30 or so. It wasn't super late. These house guests have been going to bed a little bit earlier than past seasons, and Felicia maybe has something to do with that. So I guess maybe I will, a little thanks to Felicia. I'd still be mad if I was in the house, though. So the house is shut down. In summary, yeah, it's flipped. So now red is the target. Felicia is getting everyone mad for game reasons and non-game reasons first. And America and Corey are not happy with each other. Jared and Blue, we're barely even seeing them up in the HOH room. So they're kind of off. They're secondary in terms of showmances right now. We'll see how it all works out today. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow morning, eviction day. We'll see if the plan is flipped yet again. But until then, y'all have a great Wednesday. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends.